Hi, I'm Casey Henry, and welcome to the Murphy Method. Today we are going to take a look at a song called Dial Drunk. This is going to be a little bit of a more informal lesson. I am going to teach you all the banjo parts to this song as they're played on the recording, but we're not going to string it together in a one cohesive playthrough. At the end of the lesson, I'm just going to teach you all the bits and then leave it to you to put it together if you should want to do that. So the first thing to establish is the key of this song. It is in G sharp. Now, there is a live version of this up on YouTube, and you can see the banjo player actually really well, which is really awesome. But that banjo player is capoed at the first fret. There is no way that that would work unless they have their banjo tuned 2 frets sharp. So they have got to be playing on a high tuned banjo for one reason or another. All the guitar players appear to be tuned in standard tuning. They are all capoed at the first fret and playing out of a G position. This banjo part is played out of an F shape position. And, for that to work, the banjo has to be tuned high. Now, assuming that your banjo is just going to be in standard tuning, we are going to capo at the 3rd fret. All right. So standard tuning, 3rd fret. The entire banjo part never plays the 5th string. So it kind of doesn't matter what you have that tuned to, but I have, tuned it to a G sharp note so that it matches the 1st string at the 3rd fret. Well, this is the real 6th fret if you're counting from the nut. So a G sharp note right there. And we're going to be, our home base is an F-shaped G sharp chord. And we'll get into that when we get into the explanation here in a second. For now, this is what your banjo should sound like if you strum it open. Okay, the first thing that happens here is a chorus. It kicks right into the chorus, no pickup notes or anything. So the banjo leads off here and establishes a roll pattern that continues throughout the whole song. The first thing to be aware of is the chord pattern that we're actually playing here over the chorus. So it starts off on a 4 chord, which is C sharp, and then it drops back to a 1 chord, which is G sharp. And then it goes to the 6 minor, which is an F minor. Now, we're never going to have to actually play these chords as full chords like this, but I just wanted to keep that in mind. So we're going 4, 1, 6 minor over and over again throughout this first verse. Okay, so our roll pattern here to start off with is going to be in that 4 chord. So our chord shape here, you want your index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. I'm counting from the capo, so this is the 1st fret in front of the capo. Your little finger is going to be on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Your ring finger is going to be on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. So this bottom 3 strings should sound like that. Now our roll pattern here is 3, 1. Those are slower notes. And then we have a 3, 2, 3, 1. Those are faster notes. I think of them as 16th notes. So those first 2 slow ones I think of as 8th notes. And then 4 faster 16th notes. So 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1. And we go through that twice in our 4 chord. Then we're going to drop back to the 1 chord. So that involves only changing your 3rd string. Ring finger comes off. Middle finger goes onto the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Other 2 fingers stay where they are. And the roll pattern here is the same. 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1. And you also play through it twice. Okay, so we're going to hook those 2 pieces together. Ready, play. And then we have our 6 minor, which is the F minor. We're kind of cheating chord shape wise because we don't have to change anything. All we do is change the roll to a 4-1 and then 4-2-4-1. So that's the roll pattern for the 6 minor. And like the other two, we go through it twice. Actually, I misspoke. You hang in the 6 minor for longer. You actually go through that whole roll 4 times. Okay, so let's put together this phrase. This is like one full phrase of our verse. 2, ready, play. Okay, that's all there is to the picking of the verse. We go through that entire pattern 4 times. But the very last time it changes because it only has 2 of those 6 minor patterns on the end instead of 4. And instead of the last 2 patterns, it does this little instrumental riff. And here's what the riff sounds like. So, starts out with slow notes. You're going to have an open third, 2nd fret on the 3rd, fretted with, I'm using my middle, you could use your index. I'm not sure it makes all that much difference here. So those 2 notes are 8th notes. I'm picking them both with my index finger. Then we have this. So you're going to take your ring finger and fret the 3rd fret on the 4th string, and you're going to play 3, 4. Those are 16th notes, so we're into the faster notes. And then we have this little. So this is a bit tricky, especially to pull off slow. It's a hammer on and a pull off all within the space of 1 string pluck. So you're going to play the open 3rd string. You're going to take your middle finger, hammer down onto the 2nd fret of the 3rd, and then pull off again from the 2nd fret to the open 3rd. So, but you don't pick the string again. So it's, when it goes fast in the song, it is pretty easy to execute, and the sound lasts long enough. When you're playing it really slow, the banjo doesn't have a whole lot of sustain, and the sound kind of peters off. So you can't hear it very well by the end note. But nonetheless, that is the action that you want to be doing. And then you're going to play that 3rd fret on the 4th string note again after it. So. So far in this riff, what we've got is. Try that again. Ready, play. Then we do the hammer pull followed by the 3rd fret of the 4th string again. And then the last note of the riff is an open 4th. Now, fingering wise, you're going to need to bring your index finger up to play that 4th string. You can't do 2 thumbs in a row. That would be double thumbing. It's against the rules. It's a little fast for that. You can also get that open 4th sound by doing a pull-off. But you have to get a really good, strong pull-off sound to get it to be as loud a note as you want. So you have 2 options for that. Pick it with your index finger or pull off with the ring finger of your fretting hand. So that makes our whole riff this. Ready, play. That was the picking it with the index finger way. Now this is the pull off way. Ready. Okay, after the verse, we go into the chorus, which has a really similar chord progression. We add in the 4 chord, though. So the chord progression for the chorus goes 4, 4. Wait, we're going to add in the 5. We had the 4 chord. Now we're going to add in the 5 chord. So it goes 4 chord, which is the C sharp, 1 chord, which is the G sharp. Now our 5 chord, which is, excuse me, D sharp, and then the 6 minor, which is the F minor. Okay, so the roll pattern is going to stay the same. We just add in the extra chord. So we keep the 4 chord and the 1 chord like we played in the verse, like this. Here's the 1 chord. Here's where we insert our 5 chord. So this is, it's basically a C-shape chord. We're just using the bottom 2 fingers, so you don't need to fret the 4th string. Index on 1st fret of 2nd, ring on 2nd fret of 1st. Roll pattern stays the same. 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1. And then at this point, we go to the 6 minor. So pop back into your F shape position. With that index finger on 1st fret of 2nd, middle on 2nd fret of 3rd, and little on 3rd fret of 1st. And then remember the 6 minor pattern starts on the 4. So it's 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 1. And this time for the chorus, it does go through it twice. So it's 2 times through every chord shape. So we're going to string that whole phrase together right now. 2, ready, play. So that's the full phrase, and you go through the full phrase 4 times. So 4 entire times through that full phrase. At the end of the chorus, there's this little kind of extra line where he says, "I'd die for you." And it just kind of hangs out on the 4 chord, like 4 times through our roll pattern. That's kind of extra out of the usual chord pattern. And then it goes back into essentially another verse. They label it a bridge, but for our purposes of playing it through, you play it through like the verse, and it does have that same instrumental riff at the end. The second verse is shorter. It follows the same chord pattern that we used for the first verse. It just doesn't go through the cycle as many times. And then it does have the same instrumental riff at the end, and that leads into another chorus. At the end of that second chorus, it has an entire extra time through the chord pattern, like an extra phrase on the end that goes through the 4, 1, 5, 6 minor pattern. Well, there's a little bit, instrumental thing going on. And then it goes into what they call the bridge, which for our purposes is the same as the chorus. It uses the same chord progression, the 4, 1, 5, 6 minor progression that the chorus does. So that's basically it. That's all the bits that you need to play the banjo part on this song. It's got a cool rhythm to it. It's not particularly banjo-y as far as these things go, since it doesn't use the 5th string. But if you have any problems putting it together, or any connecting bits are unclear, just feel free to reach out. So there you have it. That is Dial Drunk.